Let's switch. You're listening to the Dollop on the All Things Comedy. Listen, you know what this show is. Each week, we go through a random story from history in which I, Dave Anthony, mushroom eater, tax evader, please government investigate me guy, reads a story from American history to the new president of the Screen Actors Guild.
I'm a fucking idiot. Gareth
Reynolds.
Dumbest guy ever.
Who knows?
Boy, am I a stupid.
Who has been proven right that Benjamin Franklin was a president.
If you put a bunch of rocks into a box and then put that box out into a field, that would be my brain.
I'm going to do the
music.
I'm going to do one bump. Let me just do one bump.
I don't know how I feel about that. I got to be honest.
I think it's just cool to keep people interested in the show because I was going through the Q5 numbers. A lot of people are saying there's problems.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's Q5?
So the Q5 papers, the papers of the whole thing.
Yeah, but what does Q5 stand for?
Quarter 5.
So there's 5 quarters?
There's 6.
There's 6
because right now we're working in an 18-monther.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Have you even set eyes on a lot of the printouts I've been sending? You should check into those. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
What's
your Kinko's? What's your Kinko's deal? You still going there? Do you have a little card with your money on it? And where are you at with your Kinko's?
I don't have a deal.
What can you tell me your zip code? I'll do a search on the Find Your Kinko's app.
It's 7.
Now that feels disingenuous.
If you want to hear even more of this kind of magic, you can subscribe to our Patreon and you'll get all this kind of inside fun stuff. We do.
We're talking about a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost at 10,000 people. We're definitely going to hit that because we're about to do some really sweepsy stuff. But I also just told Dave, not a lot of people know that we're feeding Luke a ton of snacks on there.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. And fans keep sending them, so we have no choice but to keep doing them. And I'm not kidding. When I get home, I mean, we have a lot of snacks for him to eat.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Like an upsetting amount of snacks for him to eat. Like, hey, Luke, clear your weekend from recovery. Like amount of snacks.
Great. And then we also have Dollop Plus on Apple if you want to get some. We have extra content there.
We have 2 places for extra content, and one of them is the Patreon, which has a ton of shit, and then the other is the Apple one, where there's the second season of the not completed but still raring to be completed Dollop UK series, and also Reverse Smollops. Those are some things we have on there.
Gareth?
Last Reverse Smollop was okay. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was all right.
One before that was interesting, a lot about Coco the gorilla. Turns out,
not great. Yeah, liar.
Whoa.
She's a fucking liar.
She's not a liar.
She's a fucking liar. July
19th,
1841? 14.
So close. Reversed.
Samuel Colt was born in Hartford, Connecticut.
I was just there 2 nights ago.
Sorry. He was one of 7 kids.
Good amount.
18-year, bad year for the U.S.
18-year?
1814, bad year.
Bad year for the U.S., sure.
There a lot of Native American fighting going on. There was the War of 1812 happening.
They just wouldn't give it up.
D.C. got taken over and burned down.
Can we do that?
Rich New Englanders were discussing seceding from the U.S., so it was a whole thing. And that's where Samuel Colt was born, in New England.
Okay.
His father, Christopher, was head of a textile manufacturing company in Massachusetts.
Okay.
The family had been one of wealth for a while. His maternal grandfather is credited with manufacturing the first scythe in America.
And people have sort of stopped using Scythe because of Zoom. Sometimes I get myself with these cracks and these
Sometimes we start out with a flat tire. We just got to fix it, and
we'll keep going. You can drive on a flat.
5 years after the end of the war, in 1819, the economy crashed, and Christopher goes bankrupt. So that same year, Samuel's mother, Sarah, dies of tuberculosis. He's 7 when his mom kicks it. Just before she died, she gave Samuel a military pistol her father had used during the Revolutionary War.
That's a great parting gift.
It's a good gift for a kid. Yeah. It's also said he got it as a gift because he had learned to read.
Are we doing that in schools again? We should be doing guns for books real soon.
We kind of are, I think. Or just a bullet sometimes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. The gun, not
the tactic. Okay.
Samuel tinkered with it and got it working.
Good.
This obviously could be a myth, this part of the story. This seems very mythish.
Not to me.
So his dad remarries in 1823 to Olive Sargent. So his childhood, not great. He didn't get along with Olive, so that wasn't great.
Okay.
2 of his sisters died when he was young.
To be fair,
first
industry standard.
His 19-year-old sister died from TB. She was the first one to go. And then a third sister committed suicide later on in his life. So the sister's not, whatever was going on there was not. Well, I'm saying it was not. I'm going to say probably not a healthy environment in the home if everybody's.
Well, what do you mean?
And stuff. I just think it's.
Well, one died of TB. So you can't be.
Yeah.
That's.
But got it from the mom.
Yeah. So
the OG. So she.
Maybe that was her parting gift to her. She was like, "Samuel, you get a gun. Grace, kiss mom. I'm going to cough inside your mouth."
I'm just saying. I don't know why.
Take it from mommy.
This is why you're a bad mom.
No.
It's like Coraline all of a sudden.
Does the gun work, babe?
Oh, God. So Olive would have 3 more kids with Christopher. Samuel was close with his brothers and his dad.
Okay.
But then because of the bankruptcy that had happened, life is just not the same as it was before. They're no longer like the social elite in the town. They're just regular poors.
Sure.
As a kid, he was super into taking mechanical things apart to inspect them.
Same.
Yeah. No, it's what I thought of when I read this. It's totally Gareth. Guns had advanced, but they were still flintlock, which is using a piece of flint to fire.
Sure. And I would imagine if your name's Colt, you're playing with guns. You're starting.
Are you getting it?
Something. This is the guy who invented the malt liquor.
No. It's about the guy who established the Indianapolis Colts.
This is Peyton Manning. This is about Jim Irsay.
Yep. I don't know who that is, but yes.
Imagine if cocaine owned a team.
Oh, I've seen that a lot actually. That was the Yankees in the 90s.
Jim Irsay would carry $200,000 in a briefcase and a limo was coked out of his face, and he was like, "Hey, we just signed a player," and they'd be like, "Jim, you can't do that."
So like I said, guns advanced a little bit. After Samuel completely understood his grandfather's gun, he started taking apart his dad's guns.
It's just strange. It'd be strange. It'd be a tough habit. You'd be like,
But
back then you were probably like, awesome. Make them better, boy.
They are, but there's also, I don't know, there's gunpowder involved, when you're fucking with the gun. But they probably had, hopefully he took the gunpowder out, but
sure.
Whatever. So it's just not something you want a 7-year-old doing, but also it worked out fine.
Great.
So they're poor, so they have to put him into indentured servitude at a local farm when he's 11.
That was such a regular option back then, huh?
Yeah, it was. It should come back, right? I would love to get Finn out there.
Already coming back. Unfortunately, he's probably a little too old at the boy. Boy's
no,
16.
we could get him. We could get him. He's
spent.
Not 16
we
yet.
need
He's
9-year-olds. He's still
15.
got spirit. We need to break his will.
He's still a quarter boy.
He's established. He knows what's right. No, we want 8-year-olds.
Okay,
boys.
It's weird.
I'm running a baby farm.
Oh, are you?
I'm hiring only babies to till my soil and take down my crops.
I would. I don't know. Now a baby farm sounds good. Are the babies just working?
Yeah, the babies. Well, look, I'll be honest. A lot of the babies get distracted, but that's how you weed them out. You use the good babies, the hard-working babies.
Yeah,
the fighters, the killers.
What do you do with the non-hardworking babies?
They go into the gator pit. The weak babies go into the gator pit.
I really hope you live in Florida.
Of course I am. My name is Jack Florida. I'm about to invent it.
I was worried there's something else going on, but yeah, okay.
What do you mean?
No, nothing.
What are you worried about?
Maybe either you imported gators or gators meant something else. That's all.
What would gators mean something else?
I don't know.
You're a weird guy with a little too much knowledge, if you ask me.
That's fair.
Let me ask you this, Benjamin Franklin, president or not?
Am I getting hurt if I say the wrong answer?
Just tell me what you think, stupid.
No.
See you, a gator.
Okay, gotta go. Bye. Yeah, so he also got to school when that was part of the deal is that you have to send him to school while he's an indentured
See, if you told me when I was that age that if I worked as an indentured servitude, I didn't have to go to school, I know, right? Signed. Yes.
Yeah. But he avoided biblical studies and focused on science, which upset his teachers.
Yeah.
He became obsessed with free moving and locked wheels and how to make gunpowder, which worried his family a bit. An 11-year-old making gunpowder is a little
How are you even doing that?
I don't know how to make gunpowder. Although I have seen there was an episode of Star Trek where he made gunpowder.
I want this answer to stop.
He was really into a book by the guy who invented the commercial steamboat about submarine bombs.
Okay.
As we all are.
So his destiny was for fighting.
He was going to make bad things. Yes, he was going to make. Yeah. So the underwater bombs, that's what submarine bombs are. And Sam was fascinated by a picture of a masted ship being blown out of the water. So this is like the beginning of a serial killer story.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like, it was like, he just loved chicken heads. He's just super into them.
So soon after Christopher, so he's done with his indentured servitude. He did it for like a year, and then Christopher sends him to boarding school because he's worried about this obsession he has because he keeps going to the factory and working with stuff and trying to make shit that is, gunpowder or whatever else. And it's a little concerning. The factory is textile, so it's like they dye stuff and they bleach stuff, and so. Now, he sends him to the fancy elite Almhurt Academy in Massachusetts. So a bunch of Richie Riches. And there he took a chemistry class and learned the joy of taking nitrous oxide.
Oh, my God.
Which we've all learned that joy.
This is great. How old is he?
I think he's like, I want to say 13 or 14 at this point.
I wish I could shame him, but...
I mean,
was just entering the beautiful world of nitrous around then myself. So
I worked at a cafe, and I would clean the cafe. It was like a breakfast cafe, and I'd go in and clean it at the end of the day. And I got the job from my friend, who had gotten the job from his friend, who had gotten the job from his. So there were like 4 of us who had had this job. And then one of them comes by one day, and he goes, "Have you found the nitrous yet?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Grab the whipped cream." And we just started blowing through all the whipped creams. And then the boss comes in the next day and she's like, hey, what happened to all the whipped creams? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Here's my impression of my mother every time she went to her fridge for whipped cream. Oh, gosh, it's gone all milky again. Why do they keep doing that? Literally every time. We used to go buy nitrous. I don't remember what the number was, but we found out somehow that if you showed your driver's license, I think you could get up to 32 little canisters. But you couldn't go in there together because then that would count as 32. So you would literally go to the mall, you'd go into Williams-Sonoma, and you'd go up there and you'd be like, yes, I'm looking to get 32 nitrous oxide containers. And they would be like, oh my God. And they'd give them to you. Then your buddy'd come out and you'd have to wait like 8 minutes. And then you'd go in and be like, good day, madam. I am having a Sunday social, as I call it. I'm looking for, I don't know, shall we say 32 nitrous oxides? Just be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, we after a while we just started going into the store and just doing it in the back.
I had friends who went fucking nuts, and you were like, dude, you can't. This is not a lifestyle. Yeah. Like, I knew it was not good for you, but
right. It was very obviously not good for you.
Yeah, I had friends who were just like, hey, what about a rum and Coke and maybe a balloon?
This is what I'm doing from now on.
Yeah. And then you talk to them now and you're like, what have you been up to? And they're like, I'm a counselor.
There's a guy who plays on Manchester United who was like a local born kid. And then he started doing nitrous and he's just not really playing soccer anymore. He's just doing nitrous. He's like 23 or 4. I'm going to do this instead. I know. I had a great thing going, but this is better.
This rules.
So don't do nitrous is what we're saying.
Yes. Don't do nitrous. Unless you like partying, then give it a shot. It's pretty great.
Oh, shit. So he's doing nitrous. He's taking chemistry classes and he comes back home during the summer and he's at the family factory and he finds these new tools to work with. And he creates what was called a galvic cell based on oxidation and reduction. And he said this would create an amazing underwater explosion. So for July 4th, 1829, he hands out a bill advertising his event that he's going to put on.
Which is Kill Poseidon.
Quote, Sam Colt will blow a raft sky high on Ware Pond July 4th.
Wow.
So a pretty good crowd shows up because this is, we're talking 1829. So there's not much to do. Like people would come out to watch a guy walk through with a sack of flour. Like it's a big deal. So
that guy had a tough turnout that year after this.
A witness said, quote, an explosion was produced, but the raft was by no means blown sky high. But the underwater explosion was considered very impressive by everybody who was there. I mean, it was like, I would find that impressive today.
Yes.
Like it's,
Yes.
So a year later, he's at school and his stepmother writes him and says he should abandon all these trivial pursuits that a boy does and take a job on a merchant vessel. She's like, this is like when my dad came to the community college I was at and was like, you should join the military. And he came to 8 a.m. to my house and I was on mushrooms.
What was happening with him then? Why?
He just showed up. I lived in San Luis Obispo and he lived.
Because he was like,
well, that was the craziest conversation. He was like, you need discipline in your life. And I was just like,
you're like, you're an alcoholic.
I wanted to be like, buddy,
a date to Thanksgiving.
I am fucking tripping right now, and I can't stop looking at the scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that's tough.
Chicken
graveyard.
I mean, you should have heard the laughter of my roommates when my dad knocked on the door. They're just like, no way.
And he's like, you need to go to the military.
Yeah, it was really a bad.
I'm the bad guy in Bill and Ted.
So she had already set up this job on the merchant vessel through connections, but he passed on it. He's like, I don't want to do that. And then 2 weeks later, Sam and a couple of his buddies from school snuck onto the property of a revolutionary general and stole a cannon that he had.
Jesus Christ.
And then they took it to College Hill and fired it. And now faculty came running, and the Reverend John Fisk, who is a professor, told him not to fire it again, but Sam looked at him and said, quote, "A gun for Professor Fisk," and fired the cannon.
Jeez. This is, at this time, this is unheard of. Right?
So,
I mean, it's just like true
Yeah.
delinquent.
He's a loose cannon.
Yeah. And we're back. Thank you.
So he either was expelled or left school at this point. I'm guessing expelled.
Sure.
We don't know, but yeah. A month later, he was working as a cabin boy on that merchant ship, the Corvo. He was 16, and that lasted, I think, about a year. His dad may have wanted him on the ship, you know, as well as a stepmom at that point. They were probably just like, because he came home for a month, and they were like, okay, you're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
So Colt said he was super into the ship's wheel. So there's two wheels on a ship. There's the steering part, and then there's a
the
part
one we all see, and
the
then there's
the feather with her,
the
snoot,
what we call the underwheel.
the underwheel.
Yeah.
There's also a wheel you can turn to drop an anchor. So it was one of those two wheels.
Yes, there's that too, but that's just a tiny. There's 3 wheels.
What's the other one?
There's the anchor dropping wheel, there's the underwheel, and then there's the captain's steering wheel.
What does the underwheel do?
Underwheel is in charge of a lot of the. Do you really feel like you want to take this pause? It feels like the story has momentum, but I don't mind explaining.
No. Let's. I just want to hear about this because I don't know.
Well, Dave, the ship, the inside of the ship is what we call the soul.
The guts.
Guts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, near the poop deck is the hull. Near the hull is the ship guts. And the guts are where the wheel goes, the wheel bearings and the wheel ropes go to turn and crank other levers and pulleys. They're down there too. In the heart of that is the underwheel. And the underwheel is where...
now, were you talking all of this time? Were you talking all this time to get to the underwheel because you were thinking of something for the underwheel to do?
Do you want to know, or do you want to be a jerk?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Okay. It just seemed like you were delaying to try to come up with a thought.
I'm in the middle of an answer, and you're accusing me of delaying?
No, it's fine.
Now I'm getting a phone call. I got to take this. Hello?
There's no...
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, we are doing that this evening? I can do a party of 5, but they might...
Did you... You're working at a comedy club this evening.
Yes, that's right. So we can make that happen, and then we'll... Hey, guys, why don't we put them at 12? And then just move the couple from 28 down to 6.
Wait, are you working at a restaurant?
Yeah, I started hosting. I'm hosting at a Buca de Beppo.
Okay.
Yeah,
you don't even like meat.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to like meat to. It's not a fogo de chao. What did you think of Buca de Beppo?
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the wrong thing. Yeah.
No, but also I would have no problem hosting at a meat restaurant. Anyway, why don't we stop what we were doing? And
yeah. Let's just leave the
we're
wheel
starting
thing.
to get a
You
little
couldn't
slammed
think of
here. Some of
anything
these sections, I got to cut Diane. In
yeah,
about
I mean,
hour
it's fine sometimes you can't think of stuff.
I don't want them to go into double.
Yeah. So this wheel situation caused him to come up with the idea of a revolver. He says,
"Wow, this guy really had a mind for the dark arts."
And he carved a piece of scrap wood into a 6-barreled cylinder facsimile with a locking pin and a hammer. But there's also a guy named Collier who had invented the Flint revolver, who had set up a shop in London, and Colt's boat stopped in London. Also, those revolvers were used in India, where he also stopped. So, again, I'm going to flag this as mythical bullshit.
So you're
His
saying
thing about
that
the wheel. I'm saying
probably he saw revolvers.
If a guy is so obsessed with guns and revolvers and everything, he's already obsessed with guns and explosions and all this shit, and he's in a place where they have this new revolver thing, he's going to go fucking look at it.
No, okay.
So I don't believe the wheel story. That sounds like, again, myth. So
you don't think that's for wheel?
Once off the ship in Boston in 1831, he starts looking for funding for his idea. He's 17. And
Jesus Christ, his timeline is going very slow.
It's really weird. So his father helps him with the first 2 prototypes, The first doesn't fire. The second explodes in the shooter's hand. He got someone else to shoot it.
That's definitely what you should be doing, by the way.
By the third, Dad is seriously reeling in the funding. He's like, okay, so yeah.
Right.
So Sam needs money. And at this time, the U.S. elite are super into nitrous oxide.
What the fuck? There's that fucking term again.
They're using it at parties.
Oh, I love this.
For the next 3 years, Sam Colt travels the East and Canada and South as a scientist, promoting himself as the celebrated Dr. Colt of New York, London, and Calcutta.
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor. Also, Colt is now, he's spelling it C-O-U-L-T, probably to, avoid connections for later.
Right.
He called himself a practical chemist. The show was a nitrous scientific demonstration. He wore a frock coat and a top hat. He grew a new mustache and a beard to make himself look older. In Albany, the Laughing Gas show said it included laughter, singing, dancing, and a, quote, propensity for muscular exertion, such as wrestling, boxing, etc.
So he is hosting, it's insane, obviously. He's hosting a show where he's getting people from the audience all gassed up and then doing these things like making them wrestle. Can you imagine wrestling on nitrous oxide?
No.
I mean, you're wrestling your brain on nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Your
Albany
dad walks into that room and he's like, Dave needs to join the military.
The show in Albany's 3 nights, 25 cents admission. So if it's 3 nights, that means he's doing well. He's selling out the show.
The Funny Bone?
Yeah. He does this for over 2 years. By the end, he's charging 50 cents, which is a lot of fucking money back then.
Right.
He gets 20,000 people high over these times, and he gets high himself thousands of times because all these shows he's doing it himself.
Wow.
He also included fireworks in the show, which he loved his fireworks. So
it's good. Get the fireworks around that gas.
There were also wax statues that, quote, evoked the dreaded scenes of Dante's Divine Comedy, complete with demons and centaurs from the circles of hell.
Very funny.
So it's just a whole fucking crazy. It's like
gas them up and then just like throw them near a demon.
Yeah, but this is very much
Light
like
a firework.
I mean, you could see this today. It was like I'm doing the Get High show, and you go. That's what it seems like, right?
And
it's
you
just
have to do it. Like where you have to, like it's like there are like comedians where it's like you got to get drunk for your show. Because your fans expect you to be, there are
guys that are the get high. You do a show every day at 4:20, and then you're 60 years old and you can never stop smoking pot.
All right, take your sign. Come on, let's pump the brakes there, guy. Small little pond we all live in.
He's a nice guy, but when he started doing that, I was just like, man, you really locked yourself in.
Yeah. Well,
you got to get high. You can't go to if you don't want to get high that day. It doesn't matter. You got to get high.
But that is baked into him. Part of the pun. It's not like he's like, oh no.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. And I love him. Dave, can I be on?
So the show.
Get my coffee. Give me 1 second.
What?
Give me 2 seconds.
This isn't how we do fucking shit.
Vamp.
David Cross going to the bathroom in the middle of a live show?
Oh my god! Well, nobody gets that reference because we lost the recording.
Yeah, so we did a show in New York, and David was our guest. And right in the middle, he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And he just gets up and walks up stage. We're like halfway through the show. And then he came back with balloons and sang happy birthday. But that's, classic David. Okay, so he raises enough money.
Now I'm ready.
He raises enough money to make changes to his beloved gun.
Okay.
Now he starts consulting with different gunsmiths. So over the time he's out on tour, he's also taking the money to try to get gunsmiths to make. So it's not like he waited until the end.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
No, well, I definitely have always found it helpful to pitch people on nitrous for your big Shark Tank concept.
That's right. It's a great that like the guy who's like, so I'd like you to work on this gun. What's your day job?
Oh my God, man.
Oh, do you want
what's the idea?
you know he got the gunsmiths high on nitrous. There's no way he didn't.
He's treating it like truth serum. He's like, God damn it. I mean, it's laughing gas. You just laugh.
Yeah. So he's consulting with different guys. Some models are created. Finally, a pistol and rifle are created with the Hartford gunmaker, and they're presented to the patent office. But they are rejected because back then, your thing, whatever you invented, couldn't just be on paper. It had to work. It had to be a working thing.
Right.
So the guns are not in a, quote, finished state, so they can't be patented. Then a guy
Silicon
in
Valley
Albany,
probably wouldn't have done great back then.
oh my God. Or remember the guy who patented podcasting by just drawing on a piece of paper, head to computer. Just like crazy. So a guy in Albany is making guns from
that guy on the pastimes.
Is it Albany or Albany?
Albany.
Okay, Albany. A guy in Albany made some guns for him. None of them were up to it. Cole had paid. Now he's paid two gunsmiths $565 altogether, which is a lot of money back then. Mm-hmm. He goes through 13 gunsmiths trying to get one who could make his idea. Then in 1834, he's doing a long run of nitrous shows in Baltimore.
Wow.
And he meets a gunsmith who has a bunch of apprentices. So this guy basically like takes on, ideas and then just has all the apprentices do all the work and doesn't do anything. So one of them, John Pearson, he started in watchmaking and then he switched to guns, and he's tired of doing all the work as an apprentice and the other guy makes all the money. So he talks to Sam and he's like, what if I open up a little side shop and, I'll just do work on the down low for you. So that's what they do. They open up a double secret shop, and Cole has to go back on a tour to make money, but he would send Pearson money as he went along to try to keep the project going. So Pearson makes the first 6-shot pistol in 1835. It's basically a mishmash of other guns.
Even though you said that it had already been invented.
Well, that wasn't,
not recognized?
I think you still have to load. I don't know exactly how that one works. You might have to load it every time, but either way, it's not the same. But it's not a flint. It's not a flint one, right?
And the flint advantage is that this basically, as we know, revolver means that you're going to get 6 shots. Because before that, they're really it's basically reloading every fucking time.
Yeah.
Which makes gunfights so fun.
It's like 20 seconds, if you're good.
The first guy to come out with the Colt, they were probably like, Wizard? And he's just tripping his balls off on nitrous.
I'm sure gun guys right now are like, that's not what it is. That's not how it works. And I cannot stress this enough. I don't care. Let me explain to... It's not the important part of the story.
Let me explain to everyone who listens to this show something. Look, once we're done with the episode, talk to each other about it. Go ahead. It's nothing. We love you. We love you. We appreciate it. We appreciate that you're here with us, all that. But the addendum stuff, probably 1 out of 900 are we like, oh, cool.
I got a lot of messages about saying papa and mama wrong on.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
JD Massive, and I would just like
people
to say,
focus on the right part.
And there's also, I'd like to say, there's something called regional accents.
Yeah.
So we actually say papa out here, but we don't say it the way you do. And you have to come to grips with that. Regional accents. You have to come to grips with it.
Also, you know what? Come on.
If you really want to know, we call it Papa. So hang in there. When a guy in Albany, I already did that. So Colt is busy touring while all the gun making is going on. And so he has to ignore Pearson for long periods of time. Sometimes he just can't get in contact with him. And his payments are erratic. So Pearson gets pissed and threatens to stop working unless he gets paid. And Colt has to quickly send him cash, but it's just a partial payment. And that pisses off Pearson even more. And then Pearson sends an angry letter demanding full payment. He's working 10 to 12-hour days in a workshop. He wants fucking full payment. And at that time, maybe the reason he's so pissed is because he has just finished his biggest breakthrough, which is a dog barking at a mailman. That's the breakthrough.
Welcome to the Dollop.
It's, if mailmen just were the thing
mail
is
excuse me, mail carriers.
Well, ours is a mailman, but if they
are you sure?
They're like taunting dogs when they come up every day and open something up on the house, and the dog's like, "You're never going to pay attention." What? It's an affront.
Who's your beef with?
I think the mailman is the problem.
Why?
Not the dogs. Because they don't acknowledge the dogs. They don't. There's no.
What do you want them to do?
They could just be like, "Hey, doggy. Hey, doggy, dog," and make a little relationship with the dog.
What, you live in a cartoon? What are you talking about?
Yeah. We all live in a cartoon. Have you been in America?
That would be the greatest instead of hologram or Matrix. It's like, dude. I mean, it's pretty like just at a bar. It's pretty obvious we live in a cartoon. I mean, 9/11 was an inside drawing.
Takes off his head, turns it around. See,
see, man.
Okay, so the guy's getting pissed, basically. And then, but his latest breakthrough, Colt takes and gets a British patent for in 1835. Now, the patent is granted not as a pure invention, but as an enhancement on a flintlock revolver that already is in existence. So it's not invented; it's just enhanced an older gun.
Sure.
So Colt goes to Europe to promote his new gun and fundraise, which goes well
to
in
go
Britain.
on a like book tour for a gun. It's amazing.
While in France, he learns.
He's just on Kelly Ripa's show. Now just have a new. That's right, Kelly. I mean, this revolver is really a lot of fun.
That's basically what it is.
When does the revolver come out? Select cities on Friday, but then nationwide end of October.
Oh God! So there's some tensions he learns when he's in France between the U.S. and Germany, and he's like, "Ooh," because war means profit, and he always took note of that when there was a war brewing. He didn't seem to give two shits about the ideologies involved between the warring factions. So when he gets back to Massachusetts, he has brought with him a 16-year-old bride. He's only about 18 or 19 now. He's not, or 19 or 20. She was said to be very beautiful, but of, quote, humble origins and could barely read or write.
Okay.
No one knows how they met. He apparently, quote, kept the marriage a secret from the rest of the family and the world at large. Okay.
Well, look, we've had far more inappropriate relationships on the show.
Yes. But that wasn't uncommon to get married at 16 back then. So,
I did it.
I know you did, but that was 2021.
Yeah, but I was 16 again.
He now needed $300 for a U.S. patent application. So he borrows it from Henry Leavitt Ellsworth, who was the first commissioner of the U.S. Patent Office. I don't know what this guy's deal was, but he would just help people out who brought in good patents.
He's
like, yeah, I'll give you money. I work here.
What do you want? He's just like a cokehead. You did that?
he's just hanging out. He's hanging outside the patent office. Hey, man, you need a patent?
You guys inventors? What? You guys inventors? You inventing anything? You guys got an idea for invention?
So Colt is now given monopoly over this revolver design, even though the revolving firing mechanism was not categorized as an invention.
Interesting.
Same as in Britain. Yeah, it is a big deal. It was considered a, quote, practical adaptation of a revolving flintlock, but he had never claimed to invent the concept, so he's cool with it. But now he has. He
has it all.
So within the year, funding is acquired, mostly from relatives, and production begins. And Colt, he's not just going to make money from selling guns, but also from forcing the end of illegal gun purchases and demanding a large royalty for every illegal sale based on his design. So it's like the way Tesla was profitable because he was using tax breaks from other companies to make money. Like you know, it's not just the business of making and selling. It's also how do you fuck with the market? So Cole used large amounts of funds promoting his revolver to really important people. He was like, I got to get these guns. Like, it's like food. It's like Fujiwara, right? You're like, I got to get this in J-Lo's hands or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper seen swinging a Colt 45 around at the Oscar Vanity Fair party.
So this was a lot of expensive dinners, taking people out to woo them. He also bribed people to remain the unchallenged producer of the revolver. He manipulates public opinion any way he can. He would really, if someone tried to invent a gun like his, he would fiercely go after them. Anything close to the patented gun, he would just take them to court.
Okay.
There were times when he made more money selling, going after companies than selling the actual gun. So he did not care what his guns are used for. He's happy to sell them to both sides of a war. He, quote, did not see slavery as a moral issue.
What did he see it as?
I'm just going to throw this up as a red flag on the person.
But that's also like to not see it as a moral. It's like, do you support it?
Like you have to be such a psychopath to be like, I don't know either. I don't want to. I don't. Well, no, I don't want to say anything. I don't want.
It's one of those people like, look, I'm not going to get in the middle of that sort of thing. Like, you know, I mean, I support people's right to choose. Some are pro, some are anti. You know.
To him, he saw slavery as just a part in the pattern of how labor works.
Sure.
And he thought it would fade away over time because it was inefficient.
Those are the people who are like, look, we're going to figure out a way to capture the carbon.
He thought debating slavery was pointless. Well, he might have had a point there because he actually just had to kill people to make it end.
Not going to fight for it.
So he pushes to make his new revolver the standard issue for all U.S. soldiers. That's the goal. If you can get it, if the military buys it, you're set for life.
Yeah, right.
He also wants to sell it to the other armies of the world. He just wants every military to have it.
Everyone should be able to shoot more people. Freedom. Faster.
The quicker we can shoot, the better we'll be.
Yeah.
The name of the company is the Patent Arms Manufacturing Company. It's in Paterson, New Jersey. Are you raising your hand because you have a question?
Yeah.
What's your question? Yeah, Gareth.
Is there an old Jersey?
No.
Is there an original?
Yeah,
Jersey?
there is. In your fucking part of the world, there's a Jersey there. Yeah, go ahead.
Where is that, please?
In England somewhere. Nobody cares where anything is in England. What?
Is it still there?
Okay, we're not talking anymore.
Okay.
Most of the funds for this company come from his family. It has the first assembly line in the U.S. By 1836, it's cranking out 3 different guns. He's always refining the design. And he gets patents for each change he makes, but he gets the patents under his name, not the company's name. So he can, So
no matter what, it's always his.
It's him. So this includes interchangeable parts for guns.
What? What's that mean?
I'm trying to think of a comparison. So, so you could take you could have a barrel and then take it off and put on a longer barrel.
Oh, okay.
Or things of that
cool.
nature. Right. Maybe I don't know if the handle would come off, but like things like that.
Right.
Like
You're able to sort of cross-utilize a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, it was fun, but
no, that is fun.
The investors are not into it because it means more factory machines and it just makes a more complicated product. By 1837, the company made 1,000 guns, but that was a lot slower than they thought. Like they thought they'd be cranking them out faster. And so he gets the guns demonstrated for President Andrew Jackson, who
Love
is
a
not
gun demonstration.
great, especially for a psychopath.
Yeah,
He's not impressed.
Wow.
And South Carolina orders 75, but they're not made fast enough, so they end up canceling the order because they need to buy guns from somebody else. So the company's under financial distress. His cousin, who's the biggest investor, says that Sam is trying to bribe Washington officials. Quote, "You use money as if it were drawn from an inexhaustible mine." And he said Colt's bribery was dishonorable in every way.
Wow.
So if you can believe
human.
this,
yeah,
if you can believe this,
no,
from a successful capitalist in our country,
like, hey,
apparently
have some principles.
No morals and no honor.
Come on.
You can imagine.
Yeah. No, it does. It is crazy to think there was a time where again, like someone was like, come on, but that's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong. Don't do that.
That's a wrong thing to do. That's the stuff with like everything that goes on the way that there's no politician is ever like, you're right, I'm fucking terrible. Like Eric Adams right now is just like, they're coming after me. They're attacking me. I'm the victim.
I'm a black guy. This is what they're going to do.
Why can't you just be like, dude, I got caught.
I love that press conference where the guy.
The press conference was phenomenal.
A bunch of black people behind him trying to make it that issue, and then some dude just like screaming at him, "You don't represent us!"
Yeah, and he's so like, good. The hold is amazing. Where he's like, he's got a smile for like 2 minutes while this guy just shellacks the shit out of him through a power mic.
So, Sam gets the guns into an army trial at West Point in 1837. A rifle discharged several loads at once, which caused an explosion. Another had the hammer break off. And so the army's like, these are too complicated to have our guys using out, in a war. Next, he gets his guns into a public exhibition at the American Institute in New York, and he wins the gold at the whatever it is, and then he uses that in ads, like the gold winning
gun,
gold medal winning. But still, the guns are in today's money, they're $3,500, so they're crazy expensive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he's burning through investor money. Sam personally now takes a load of guns down to the army in Florida who are fighting the Seminoles. Why would they fight? Why would they fight a Florida State? Why would they fight a university? I never understood that.
Dave, you are A, cute, and B. But they already like the Seminole. What do the Seminoles have as far as like firepower goes? Nothing.
I don't know what they have, but they
maybe have some guns.
Well, number one, I don't know what their firepower is, but they use the land like
yes. I'm just saying it's amazing for the white people to be like, we need bigger guns against the guys who don't have guns.
But Samuel Colt would sell the guns to the Seminoles also. He wouldn't give a shit. They probably had guns at that point. I mean, the Seminoles held out for a long fucking time.
Oh man. So
sales were okay to the soldiers. He sold about half of what he brought. He brought 100, sold about 50.
So great. So it's like me after shows with Jose Pins. He's doing that with Colts.
So he heads back. He's got, the guns. The ship capsize on the way back. He loses the guns. Also,
watching a man dive as far as he can into the ocean for his guns is the most American shit ever.
Also, he loses the draft that the army gave
recipe.
him. So, no, the check.
Oh shit!
He loses the check. So I guess you can't get it back.
Is that it?
Yeah, because you can't reissue it.
Oh, that's great.
So it was just a disaster of a trip. He called it, quote, a cursed adventure. Some people want the guns in Texas, but it's just too expensive to send them there. Like it's not profitable. Mm-hmm. There's also problems with the design, like no notches between the chambers so
you could fire two at once.
More than one chamber would go off at once.
Right.
And that makes it carrying loaded unsafe.
Sure.
Basically, it's just considered too fragile and complicated.
Sure.
So Sam now opens up a shop in New York to sell his guns.
Yeah, get a brick and mortar.
Yep. And a lot of people know about the guns now because he's been doing so much PR, right? It's the gold medal winner. It's, but the board shuts down the factory. They're just hemorrhaging money. And even though he owns all the patents, they boot him as CEO and make him a sales agent.
Okay.
Which is essentially what he's doing now anyway. But,
right.
That's not great. Sam still thought he could salvage the business. And then word comes from Florida.
Never good.
The soldiers liked the gun.
Okay.
But they kept giving in to curiosity and taking it apart and putting it back together.
What the fuck?
So then, even though it doesn't work well, it really doesn't work well because they're not doing it precisely as like they do at the factory. An officer wrote that there were a myriad of problems, exploding cylinders or bursting barrels, and Sam said those issues had been fixed, but it's too late for them, right?
Right.
Okay, we fixed those. We were trying to use them. Sam is now 27.
Okay.
Now there's this skirmish on the Canadian border. I'd never heard of this, but some Canadians wanted to overthrow British rule. There's a little bit of fighting. There's a boat that is sunk on the river. In that little skirmish, an American is killed.
Okay.
And then 3 years later,
I think I know why you haven't heard of it.
3 years later, there's a drunk Canadian in a tavern in New York, and he gets really hammered and starts saying, "I killed that American on the boat. I sunk the ship."
Man.
So the New Yorker's arrested.
What did I do last night? I don't remember anything. Well, I did I close out my tab? Did I leave my card there? I don't know where my wallet is.
You were yelling.
Oh man, I get
but
shouty.
you were yelling that you killed Frank
and
that you sunk his boat. So
Jesus,
those are crimes. Actually, I don't know what it's like in Canada, your little goose land, but they're crimes here.
I didn't.
Nope.
Nope.
We thought you guys were really cute, and you were just like,
I cannot do dark liquors.
Yeah, no,
it's just.
I know. I thought it was going to be better when you switched to Molson's, but nope.
No, boy, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, so you're under arrest.
Well, okay. Well, smoke bomb?
Nope.
Oh, left those at the bar.
So this thing becomes a really tense international crisis between the U.S. and Britain.
Okay.
And Sam immediately senses, ooh, profit. We're on the verge of a war.
He's a good guy.
And he thinks of his electrical detonated submarine mine idea.
Oh, we're back.
So
oh, man. The comeback is his mine business? Oh,
yeah. So he starts writing letters to people in the government, right? President, senators, blah, blah, blah. And he says he has a system that can prevent attacks, that can protect America's harbors. So he has basically rigged electrical lines to the bombs.
Right. So it's like Morse bombing.
So everyone's like, well, this is an interesting idea. And he gets invited to meet with President Taylor and some other guys.
Taylor, I'll be totally honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And so Tyler. Yeah, that was a misspell. And the Navy secretary loves it. He's like, fucking, this is great. We can keep ourselves safe and our ships won't get hurt. And a bit later, Sam finds out that there's a naval bill being passed and it's going to have money for his harbor defense system.
Ooh.
So Sam immediately starts selling shares to investors. This is it. He's going to make a fortune. But then there's some political upheaval, and the naval secretary and pretty much the whole cabinet of the president resign over his fiscal policies.
Man.
And then the new naval secretary
resign
comes
over Tyler's fiscal policies?
Yeah.
Man, it's such a time to just be. I mean, I guess that still sort of happens where you're like, I'm so disgusted, I'm out of here.
Barely.
But barely.
So the new naval secretary has never heard of Sam's underwater mine defense system.
So he's got to repitch it.
Yeah, he's kind of back to square one. Now, Sam's older brother, John, is a bookkeeper in New York, and he's also a penmanship teacher, like you.
Yes, very important to learn how to do that properly.
Write it, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, writing's huge.
That was his slogan, write it.
Write it.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled both ways. I do text penmanship.
I know you do.
I do a lot of that.
Which I love.
For the kids.
Yep. He'd also been a fur trader. He'd been a law clerk. He was a U.S. Marine, and now he's a bookkeeper. He'd written a textbook on bookkeeping, which had 45 editions in print.
Jesus Christ, it's so boring.
Now, a printer named Samuel Adams was printing John's book when he disappeared.
Okay.
And then his body is found, bound in ropes and mutilated in a crate on a ship headed for New Orleans.
Vampires.
Now yes. How did you know?
New Orleans,
it's vampires.
Bound.
Yeah, you're right.
Body. It's very. You don't need to be a historian to know when vampires strike.
So the crew found it because it smelled, because it's a body, and the crate is tracked back to John's office because probably he just like signed it, like, yeah, no,
He's
take
like,
this
for sure.
And he admits to killing Adams because he, quote, was insulted by the way Adams demanded payment.
Wow.
So I didn't like the way he asked for his money for the job.
Which there's a way to do it. There's a way to not do it.
Yeah, but this is
I've had many altercations with servers in restaurants.
Yeah,
over how
and
they
had to kill
present
them.
you with the bill. And, well, you know, you certainly gets heated.
Yep, you got to kill him.
Yep.
This is why you have to have unions, so your boss doesn't murder you.
Well, Dave, you know me. I'm a pro-worker. So that's why I believe in the right to work.
And like any good boss, John killed Adams with a hammer.
Yeah, no, you want to really get it slow.
Make the point. Yeah.
Slow. Hammer.
Slow cracking.
I wonder how many times you hit your own thumb when you're doing that to someone. No, that's going to swell.
So it's a high-profile case because it's Sam's brother.
Right.
Now, John says it was self-defense. He said he did not actually mean to hit him that hard with the hammer.
Yeah, you know how that works. You're just trying to kind of tap it in like a picture frame, and you end up doing it like it's a test of strength at the county fair.
It's like you don't know it's drywall. It just goes in.
You're just, it's like you hit a stud.
Sam pays for John's lawyers, and at the PAC trial, prosecutors keep trying to connect Sam, and even at one point said the murder was done with one of his weapons, and he had to come in and testify as to why that couldn't have happened.
Sure.
The newspapers just savaged John. And at one point, they used a picture of him, but of the victim, but they used the wrong picture.
Okay.
And P.T. Barnum was super obsessed with the trial, but then he was horrified to open the paper one day and see his portrait labeled as the victim.
Oh, my God. Oh, everyone was like, yes. Oh, my God.
But
Kathy, I died by hammer.
There's no way he didn't use that to his advantage.
Oh, yeah. I'm back, baby.
Dead guy tonight.
Check it out.
All the while the trial is going on and all this stuff, Sam is trying to keep his submarine mine project going.
Sure.
So John is found guilty, and he is allowed to marry his girlfriend before he's executed.
That's got to be a good energy.
Yeah. Sam is a witness at the ceremony.
I'm sorry,
No.
I'm not
well,
ready
you're
for
not
this
gonna.
commitment.
Yeah. I feel like you're not going to be. I want to know if you're going to be here for me till the end. Oh, I guess you can't do till
just...
death do us, or no, you can do till death do us part.
Yeah, but
or
that's
you
like
could
45
say
minutes.
Yeah, till tomorrow. So when they go to get John from his cell to escort him to the gallows, he is found dead in his cell with a knife in his heart.
Oh, fuck me.
So he didn't even make it. Like whoever wanted to kill him in prison wanted to really do it. Couldn't wait another hour.
I mean, honestly, they didn't know. All right, I got him. He's gonna die like tonight. Wait, what?
No.
Oh,
What?
Shit. Oh man, I stabbed him right through the heart.
So if you could imagine this, this leads to a ton of conspiracy theories.
Sure.
Like one was that he had not been killed. They put in a pauper as his body, and that he was on a boat for France. Like it's just immediately, because there's all these people gathered outside the prison for the hanging, and then they have to come out and go, he died in his cell, and immediately
such a letdown. Look, we're all really let down. It was going to be awesome, but here's what we can offer. We're going to hang the dead body and pretend it's real.
Okay.
Is that
yes.
cool? Yeah.
No,
is that cool
but
yeah.
Here's what I will say. I speak for everybody. I will say, no, that's not cool, but we also want it because we want anything death-like, but we're still gonna probably go with some really crazy shit.
Well, and Fred agreed to stand behind him and do the voice. So Fred's going to go behind him and do the voice. And
yeah. That's okay. Like, do it. But again, I think this is just going to lead to us having more crazy ideas. Like he's actually living in Maine under the name.
I think it's the
Gerald
way to go.
Sure. Well, here's what we're going to say. Here's what we're saying is that he is now JFK Jr.
We will now hang him, and Fred will do the voice.
Okay. All right. Good work.
I'm not guilty at all.
Now, is that the voice, or is that was that Sam's voice that you were acting like it was, or was that you talking? Because you look like a guy just standing there doing a weird voice. You didn't look like Sam. It didn't seem like Sam. Sam didn't talk like. Sorry, John. I am so confused.
Okay, back to
John's
one.
A dead one.
Let's get this right. Come on.
So the gun company is officially dead.
Damn it.
And Sam, he's mostly focused on getting his underwater explosive thing going. Much like his early days, he gets press. He gets people to come out for demonstrations.
Sure.
And they have one at the southern tip of Manhattan on July 4th. Mayor's there, the city council, all there, naval officers. And he blows up a derelict naval vessel. I mean, completely blows it up.
That's
Quote,
awesome.
There was not a single piece left longer than a man could have carried in one hand.
That had to be
He turned a boat into mist. I mean, it's crazy. Awesome. He holds 2 more demonstrations, including one for President Tyler. For his next, there is an estimated 40,000 spectators.
Jesus Christ.
Again, the ship completely destroyed. It is destroyed so well that Congressman John Quincy Adams thought it was unsporting and called it, quote, an unchristian weapon.
Wow. Imagine an era. Well, like, imagine where the military would be like, yeah, it's incredible, but that's unfair. That's ridiculous. We can't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of not really here anymore.
No, now they're like, cool. Drop the Moab.
Well, I mean, what's a Christian weapon? A Christian weapon is a
religion.
Sword?
I mean, that's better but it's a way different vibe if he just goes out to the ocean and just starts stabbing a vessel.
I mean, stabbing a vessel sounds amazing.
I agree.
So he was like, so he's a high profile guy. He's going to become president. So he's kind of like a big objector to what this is. He felt that the ships were blown up. It should be fair and honest. He's like, if we're gonna
Give
kill
him a heads
people,
up. Send a memo.
But Congress does give Sam the money to continue
His important research.
His very important research. He can keep going. So in February 1844, his biggest government advocate, the Secretary of State, was killed when a new warship's gun exploded during a demonstration.
Ooh,
so
that's not good. That's hard to get the green light now.
Well, it wasn't his. It wasn't his demonstration. It was another one.
Oh,
it was a completely different ship.
Oh, someone.
It's a completely different. It's a completely different thing.
But who's doing it?
Who's doing what?
The demonstration.
Whoever was that was their guns. It was a gun, a giant warship gun.
Okay.
Those will blow up once in a while.
Sure.
So several military men are skeptical that the mine defense system would work in a war, and then the worst thing happens. The U.S. and Britain declare peace.
Damn it.
And they agree. So now there's no need for the expensive harbor defense.
The level at which he was like, no. No.
Not peace. Not now.
Damn it.
So Sam then...
I'm sure 2 big wars are going to be coming soon enough. So.
There'll be war. Hey, buck up. There'll be wars. No. People always start killing each other.
It won't be
always.
The same.
It's going to be great.
England and America. There's just going to be 2 heavyweight fighters for the title.
England will fight somebody else. They always do. And also, we're going to keep killing the Native Americans. It's going to be okay.
You promise?
Just not with the bombs.
No, why can't
I'm sorry, I should have said that.
Sea-based.
Maybe we'll fight water people. Maybe we'll find Atlantis and
we'll find the Seminoles. That doesn't sound right when repitched.
Nope. So now he meets Samuel Morse, who
I did call the Morse part.
Yes.
Is this the Morse guy?
Yes, this is.
So we are talking about bomb guy who's got wires going to his ocean bombs, and the guy who's like, I know how to text people.
Well, he has just invented a new electrical telegraph.
Oh boy.
Which Sam is like, that will work great for underwater use. And they come up with an idea.
Excuse me, Morse, do you have any principles? Why, actually, I don't.
They come up with an idea to install a telegraph wire between New York Merchants Exchange and Sandy Hook, New Jersey. But it's too expensive. So instead, he focuses on developing the remote underwater mines.
God damn. Everyone comes back to like, look, it's just cheaper to kill.
So in January 1847, Colt meets a captain who he meets him at a gun store. And he had fought in the war against Mexico, which is still going on at this point, I think. And his name is Samuel Walker. Everyone's name is Samuel in this story, all the other people we meet. So Walker's men had used Colts, and he loves the gun. And he has ideas for upgrades. And he wants to convince the army to use them.
Laser beams.
So Sam starts implementing Walker's ideas into his guns.
What the hell are his notes?
I don't know what his notes are.
It's just incredible to be like, may I pitch on the gun? I have some ideas.
So they start using a gun factory in Connecticut by this guy, run by this guy, Eli Whitney Jr. And those two together.
Jr.?
Eli Whitney Jr., yeah.
Is this cotton gin kid?
I don't know.
Isn't Eli Whitney who invented the cotton gin?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I drink gin, but not enough to know the brands.
By the way, we have reverse roles if I know the cotton gin.
So these two guys create a gun called the Colt Walker. It is called the most powerful handgun ever made. And Samuel gets a meeting with President Polk to show him. And then General Sam Houston is a big supporter after a small force of Rangers had held off 500 Mexicans with Colts.
Okay.
So between those, the lobbying of those two, the government orders 1,000. and the profit $10 per gun.
Good.
So they're able to put together the workers and crank out the 1,000 guns without a factory.
Everyone do it at home.
So you take the barrels over to Frank's house.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And you take the handles.
How long will it take? Yeah. I mean, that is crazy. We're all going to go to Ted's for the night.
Linda's doing the triggers.
So, yeah.
She's just under a tree over there.
Hello.
Now, reports from the war say the gun is doing well.
I love the gun probably wrote home like a Civil War letter. Dear Samuel, things out here have been strange at times, to say the least. But recently,
I killed a lot of peoples.
I've been on fire, killing so many people.
Man, when you see a young gentleman's head blown open.
My chamber's moving better than ever. Tell the kids I said hi.
So he starts building factories. He builds a factory in England and one in Connecticut. The U.S. factory becomes the biggest factory in the United States.
Wow.
It becomes the gun for European wars. It is the gun to have, baby.
Uh-huh. This beautiful ensemble.
And so if one side has them, the other side has to have them.
And guess what our boy likes? Selling. No loyalty.
So it's just escalation, right? This also creates a massive market for ammunition.
Yes.
As before it was exposed gunpowder, now it's bullets.
Right.
Celebrities now want them.
Look at Gene Kelly.
Colt salesmen are also wholesale agents, so they could close large orders on their own without worrying about the factory.
Right.
Contacting anyone. So factory workers are working 10-hour shifts. They have men, they have women. He installs bathrooms. He mandates a 1-hour lunch.
By the way, people who work at Amazon are like, wait, what? 10 hours?
He builds an off-hours club and a library.
Off-hours club.
He wanted to keep the workers happy. Making their death things. The factory also has precision tools. He could soon sell weapons and the machinery to build them.
Oh, cool. So like a 3D printer. So just make your own Colts at home.
That's right. The factory became the first successful U.S. model in advanced manufacturing technique. So I think people think Henry Ford did this.
Yeah.
Samuel Colt did this.
No, a different hero.
Workers trained at his factory would go on to make breakthrough products for typewriters, vacuums, and sewing machines. So it's a big
those are way better things. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are better, aren't they?
Yes. Well, you're going to need the sewing technology to sew up the people we're killing with our Colts.
That's right. Yes, for the holes.
And we can use sewing machines on humans, correct, Dave?
Yes.
I've just always imagined the medic going through like.
So Samuel Colt markets his guns as a thing of beauty. Like it's literally the same way that you see car ads today.
Right.
He sold the art of his guns in a way that Merritt Rose Smith said had, quote, more ambition than any marketing scheme in the antebellum era.
So it's like a Taggart Watt. He's just like,
yes.
Yeah. This beautiful piece.
Yeah, look at this.
If you want to rip through any human skeleton, might we recommend the Colt Walker? Colt Walker. Make sure they stop walking.
Well
available at Walgreens.
No one takes out an eye like a Colt Walker.
Come on.
And the back of the head. Okay, so he pays painter George Catlin to create 10 paintings of Colt guns being used in different situations. Like a guy hunting. He had a man pulling a gun on, quote, astonished Carib Indians.
That's a great one. Just beautiful slices of American life.
That's what I want to do.
The nuclear family sitting around supper, carving off some honey glazed. When the little brother asks his sister to pass the peas, and upon refusal, he puts the Colt to her head and says, do it, lady, or I'll end it all for everyone.
So the gun is quickly tied to Western expansion, right? It's the tool of Western expansion.
So cool.
The Hartford factory is cranking out 150 guns a day.
Wow.
He's still not married. He's closing in on 40. By the way, his other lady just went away. The one he married before, she just...
The 16-year-old?
Yeah, that was it.
That's it?
Yeah, she's just gone. When she never comes up again.
Okay.
So he's single. He's closing on 40. And a bio by William Edwards suggested his brother John's child is actually Samuel's child.
Okay. Super cool stuff there.
So the belief there is that she was the product of his previous marriage, and he had his brother marry her when she got pregnant and say, and then after John dies,
that's how you brother up.
Yeah.
That's really how you step up as a brother. Just be like, I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble because I fired one inside of her. Probably shouldn't have. You mind stepping up and marrying her? Okay, just live the life that I should have given her, but you do it.
Yeah, I'll take care of you, buddy.
There you go.
So after John died, he was like, I'll take care of the boy. And the boy was named Samuel Colt.
Seems like quite an homage for an uncle.
So Samuel married Elizabeth Hart Jarvis in 1856. She's 12 years younger. She's very poised. She's very smart. She's perfect for like the rich crowd. Very good upbringing.
Sure.
They had a 6-foot-high wedding cake that was decorated with rifles and pistols.
Oh, okay. Wow, fucking A. Good Lord.
I'm sure people still do that today.
Oh, are you kidding me? The amount of gun cakes at weddings now.
It's probably weird if you don't get a gun cake.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
As they left Hartford for their honeymoon on a ship, Colt mechanics gave a gun salute from the factory roof.
Hey, it's nice what's happening. By the way, it's, things are good when people are celebrating you by Yosemite Samming on your gun factory roof.
They toured Europe for months, living lavishly. They would go on to have 4 kids, though 2 died as babies and another at 3.
You know what, Dave? I think just say the 4 babies.
Yep, that's fair.
We don't need the fact that 3 of the 4 died.
Why? They did. They didn't make it. That's a big part of your mental stability as you go forward, I think, at this time.
What do you mean? That you've become...
Well, you're probably going to be bummed if 3 or 4 kids died as opposed to like...
I'll tell you what, not me.
Living. I know.
I'm an outlier.
Care. Yeah. Well, you used to have 6 cats. People don't know that.
Yeah. Well, listen, the TB spread around the house real bad.
Yeah.
Tuberculosis.
Stop it. He built a huge mansion, which he called Armsmere.
Armsmere? What is that trying to say?
Arms as in guns, arms.
Yeah.
I don't know
what's Armsmere?
I don't know what mirror. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
Insanely expensive. Like one of those crazy houses where he bought people from all over the world to make different fucking things. And he's making now customs for royals all over the world. It's the gun for royals.
I would like a gun that's like a crown.
They are the thing to have for the rich and powerful. Tsars in Russia.
Good. So this is now. Yeah,
a
what
czar
you
in
were
Russia
saying
gets
before.
It's
in the hand of influencers now.
Yes.
So we're going.
Yes, gold engraved.
Kendall
Colts.
Jenner. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's crazy. He no longer had to do as much advertising as they're basically selling themselves. They're the guns that won the West. That's what they're called. So
absolutely.
As the Civil War gets closer, he sees less of his wife because there's such a demand for guns.
Wow.
He happily sells to both sides. Because again, is slavery bad? I don't know.
Republicans buy shoes too, Dave.
There's no restrictions on trade yet, and that's why he's allowed to sell like that. But then papers start writing about his allegiance, and some are calling him a traitor because he keeps selling guns to the South.
His allegiance is to the North.
No, he's selling guns to the South, so they're calling him a Southern sympathizer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
Suddenly,
he's selling guns to both sides.
Yes.
Yes, right.
Suddenly, the company's reputation is at stake because they're now going to be seen as the gun of the traitors who left the country. He quickly began backing the North, like really just did a PR 180.
Sure.
He had planned on building a giant armory in the South to supply the South during the war, but then he scraps his plans.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that the Union is by far the bigger buyer of guns. Like, if the South had been the bigger buyer of guns, I don't know the way this goes. By 1860, although I believe his wife is a big, oh no, it might be his sister, an abolitionist. Anyway, by 1861, in his like promoting himself as like a guy for the North, he creates the first regiment, Colt's revolving rifles of Connecticut, and then in 1861 he becomes the colonel of it. Like, he's really going all out on this PR.
He's really overstating it now.
Yeah. He is now one of the richest men in America. He is discharged from his regiment in 1861. If you notice, that's the same year that he became the colonel.
Right. Well,
but he keeps from then on, he calls himself colonel. Don't they all? Every single guy like this is just like, yeah,
I'm a colonel. I'm captain.
Never was he in the field as a soldier.
Sure. That doesn't matter.
All the years of working hard and always being the face of Colt and running around and doing big contracts instead of trusting someone else to do it, it starts to catch up with him. And he gets severe chronic rheumatism. So it's great. He's always in pain, which is great, which is what I'm fine with. I'm fine with.
Wow. So to people who say to you, you hate freedom, you're just kind of acknowledging that you do.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay.
He and then one of the kids died around this time, and
is every kid he have dying?
Well, this is one of the three that died, and he's just completely overwhelmed. He's stressed out. He's depressed.
Sure.
And he dies on January 10th, 1862 of gout.
Ugh. The pudding disease.
I mean, just dying of gout is just like...
dying from gout is really remarkable.
It's really bad.
Just to be like, you think it'll clear up?
Painful.
Oh, awful. Awful. You probably are like, thank God this is it. It's we've started to call it gravy foot.
When he died, his wealth was estimated about $17 billion today.
Holy fuck!
He gives $2 million to his I don't know what you want to call the kid, his nephew, his son, maybe.
Yeah, his son few.
So his wife contests the will when it was learned how much he was giving to the kid, and John's mother then produced. Sorry.
Colt.
The boy's mother, Sam's mother, Sam Colt,
Sam's
the nephew.
Right.
The nephew's mother produces a marriage certificate stating they were married in Scotland 3 decades before. So she's like, really? Take this to court, motherfucker. So the boy keeps the money. But at the end of the Civil War, it was seen, the gun is seen as not great. In some situations, it's not great when the shooter's on horseback because it was heavy and the barrel was too long, and sometimes it misfired and ignited different chambers. And then they made the Colt Dragoon, which was an improvement, good on horseback, less jamming, and that becomes a celebrity gun. So it's like Apple products.
Right.
Charlie Parkhurst, General George McClellan, Wild Bill Hickok used it, and now it's the Colt. It's a famous fucking gun.
Wow. Well, it was bound to happen. I mean it was kind of a matter of time until someone comes along and does something like this. Yeah.
But I mean, the thing that always comes down to is like, well, he doesn't care that people are living or dying at all.
No, again, I mean, dude, it's like a dead horse at this point that we're shooting, but you just cannot expect morality in the game where the goal is to have as much money as possible. Otherwise, your life is not worth living. You cannot. There was a guy at my show last night who worked in fracking, And like when I finally got to the fact that he worked in fracking, people were like, ooh, you know, and I'm like, okay, look, not my dream job for a human to have, but what do you expect at this point when we're getting down to like 10 companies that provide livings for people on the reg?
It's right. You and I
can't
both
shame these people who are trying to.
Well, we've both worked for Fox. Like we've worked for companies that are fucking terrible because that's all there is.
I'm in the IDF.
Yes, I am also. I mean,
people don't know that about us.
But it's like,
no, you have no choice.
You can't get mad. You can't get mad at who like we try to be selective in our advertisers, but it's like you can't get mad at people. Like there's people I see screaming at podcasts and it's like it doesn't fucking matter. None of it fucking matters anymore. The government's not doing anything.
Yes,
that's what the problem is.
You want people who are principled, but you also have to understand that, you know, if you live in a country and a system where everyone is for sale in every way, it's hard to compete in that. You just need a reset of the rules, and that just is not happening when it comes to, you know, the system that we live in. And so someone would have come along and invented this gun. People don't give a shit.
But he did, and he is a bad person because he was like, I want to give it to both sides. But that just because if you're giving a better gun to both sides in a war, that means you are killing more people. That's what it means.
Yes.
You're creating a better weapon to kill more people. So you're bad. Like if you create the bunker buster bombs, I think you're a monster. That's what you created. You're a fucking monster.
Speaking of which, the guy who came up with fracking, I mean, is hugely regretful of the way that's all played out. You know?
Well, people don't realize fracking is essentially a Ponzi scheme. You know, we've done podcasts on here where we talk about when a guy made a fake mine and said it was going to make a ton of money, and then he sold shares in it. And then by the time everyone realized that the mine was bullshit, he had already gotten all the money and was done. That's what fracking is. Yep. It's just the modern day version of it, but that's all it is. It's mostly selling bullshit fracking operations to people, making money, and then walking away. It's largely bullshit. Same with the shale oil. They're all fucking. It's literally capitalism destroying the world, so some guys can make money. Yeah,
and we're for it.
And we're for it. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah. I have weird feelings about this because it's like, you're right. Someone else would have done it, but he did do it. So fuck him.
No, you cannot, someone would have been Jeff Bezos, you know, that would have happened.
Yeah.
But you also have to go, well, fuck you. You're the one. So fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like you. We don't want you here. We want your life to suck. We want your boat to sink. We want your things to capsize.
Okay. All right. Whoa.
We want your head to shine. We want to hear you laugh while we're sort of just like stepping on your neck.
What's happening right now?
We want to like see what it's like to have you just sort of meat hooked onto like a sailboat.
Okay.
You know, and we bring it up and we bring it up there. We want to see what it's like for you to be in an Iron Maiden and have dogs and pour bacon and pour bacon juice on your genitals and have dogs fight over who could rip it off. We want to see what it's like when we put honey on your eyes and let birds go peck them out.
The sources.
We want to chase you into the ocean and watch you drown because we have very high-tech binoculars so we can watch it happen.
Samuel Colt, The Life and Legacy of a Man Who Invented America's Most Famous Guns by the Charles River Editors.
It'd be nice to put you in a life jacket made of chum.
And Killer
Just
Colt.
Toss you into the middle of the ocean.
Disgrace.
Because then you have to decide whether you throw the life preserver off now or you keep yourself afloat or whether you let the sharks just come over and just eat your life preserver that you're in.
Killer Colt, Murder, Disgrace, and the Making of an American Legend by Harold Schechter.
We light you on fire and give you a barrel of gasoline as your only option to put yourself out with it.
All right. Thanks for listening.
We want to shout out to everyone who's working with us. We appreciate the hell out of you guys.